Eastern Utah is a beautiful place that has changed very little geologically during the past several thousand years. The Monte La Salle mountain range still reigns majestically over the region. The Colorado River still flows through awesome canyons. Scattered in rich profusion amidst the landscape are enclaves of Native American rock art. What is rock art, a neophyte might ask? Another term for rock art might be Native American writing. The glyphs or inscriptions were engraved or painted onto the rock surfaces by the early Native Americans. Basically, there are two types of rock art. Petroglyphs, which means rock writing. These are pecked or scratched onto a rock surface. Pictographs, the other type, are actually painted using mineral pigments and plant dyes onto the rock surface. Many images may have originally been executed as a combination of both techniques, but now appear only as a petroglyph because the paint material has faded or washed away throughout the years. Designs of these glyphs vary from place to place and among different cultures. Some of these glyphs may represent the only record in existence of an entire group of people. Consequently, exact meaning does represent a puzzlement to our present-day culture. Explanations of their meanings range from serious speculations of religious icons, good luck hunting charms, messages, calendars, and planting reminders, to fanciful expressions of vandalism, doodling, or graffiti. Rock art or rock writing was produced by the early people during the past thousands of years. Paleoculture dates thousands of years into the past. These people were present during the time of extinct Pleistocene fauna such as mammoths and mastodons. Definite evidence has been found in the plain states in the form of spear points associated with the remains of now extinct elephants and bison. Archaic people lived in caves and in small brush shelters built in the open. Both the Paleo people and the Archaic people constituted hunter-gatherers. More recently, the Anasazi, whose culture centered south of Moab in the Four Corners area, concentrated much of their subsistence efforts on the cultivation of corn, beans, and squash. Though they were a sedentary people, they also harvested a wide variety of resources, such as pinyon nuts, grasses, rabbits, bighorn sheep, and deer. The Fremont culture was contemporaneous with the Anasazi. They grew corn, but were apparently more dependent on hunting and gathering wild resources than the Anasazi. The Fremont lived mostly north of the Colorado River. Both the Anasazi and the Fremont did have complex social structures and were highly adapted to the extremes of the environment. Most recently, the Utes lived in southeast Utah since the 1200s. They were a very mobile hunting and gathering people who moved in from the Great Basin. They used bows and arrows and made baskets and pottery. They lived in semi-permanent dwellings such as brush wickiups and teepees. The Ute people lived freely throughout parts of Colorado and Utah until the 1880s when they were forced onto reservations. It is difficult to establish an exact age for rock art glyphs. However, as an example, if a horse and rider were to be depicted, we would know for certain the date to be after AD 1540, when the Spaniards reintroduced the horse to the New World. The presence of bows and arrows is presumed to indicate a date after AD 500, which time is generally accepted as the time of their appearance in eastern Utah. Please extend the same consideration to a rock art site that you might give to, say, the home of a good friend. At a friend's home, you would not write on the walls or walk on the furniture, nor would you let your children or pets run wild across the room. Please give the same courtesy to these glyphs, which are the sole legacy of long gone people. Once damaged, a site can never be repaired to its original condition. Please avoid even touching the rock surface. Surprising as it may seem, even the oils in a single handprint can chemically affect the rock surface. Take care so that others may marvel at these fragile and beautiful remains of the past. Should you have a continued interest in rock art, you might consider joining the ranks of an organized group. Use the internet to search for Utah Rock Art Research Association. The membership is made up of a variety of otherwise commonplace people who have a single unifying purpose. That is, to study, get together, to look at and marvel at Native American rock art.